allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Go right into recognition.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. It's nice to see so many faces come out to celebrate the great things that are happening in our district. And we have a lot of students who are going to be recognized tonight. And the first one is, can I please have Maureen McCall come up and speak to the Governor Jonathan Trumbull chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Award.
Well, I should be facing everybody. Since 1939, the Governor Jonathan Trumbull chapter of the DAR right here in Lebanon has been presenting a Good Citizen Award to area high schools, to someone in the senior class. We've been doing 3 schools. We do Lyman, East Hampton, and Ramsden. This year we added Bacon. The list of qualifications, we asked the schools to pick the staff to pick the student. And sometimes it's the valedictorian, but not always. It doesn't have to be the kid with the best grades. But we look for someone with dependability, trust, honesty, service, helpfulness, leadership, patriotism, loyalty, self-control. And this year, our student that was chosen is he here?
Yes, he is.
Lucas. And his pin and his little card. I told him he should show it if he's speeding so that you can please hold it. And he gets a little monetary reward. And thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
For all the students that are being recognized tonight, if you wouldn't mind, I have some certificates here too from the Board of Education. We'd love to get a picture out in the foyer after we're done doing the recognition. So next is the Human Rights Close to Home participants. So we're proud to announce that Kevin Brody, a social studies teacher here at Lyman, has been selected as a teacher fellow for the Human Rights Close to Home program at UConn. This year-long professional development opportunity will bring together teachers from across Connecticut to deepen their understanding of human rights and civic education. They'll explore rights-based teaching strategies and bring that learning directly into the classroom. We're also thrilled to celebrate that 2 Lyman students, Samuel Barnes and Caitlin Howard, will be doing the Student Fellow for the same initiative. So Caitlin and Sam are here today. If you could stand to be recognized. And last but not least, for our students, we have the Seal of Biliteracy. This is an initiative and program that Rita Quiles Glover has worked with Sandra Rios in our Spanish department to bring to our district. So 6 of our students, 3 juniors, 3 seniors, have earned the Seal of Biliteracy, a significant academic honor. The recognition is awarded by the State Department of Education and celebrates students who demonstrate proficiency in English and at least one other language. It affirms the value of multilingualism in a global society and opens doors for our graduates in both college and career opportunities. Rita could not be here this evening, but she wants to say a big thank you to Sandra for all she's done to help prepare the students for the assessment. The students are, please stand when I call your name, Hannah Gonzalez, Jenny Lopez, and a special shout out to James, who was also honored at the CAS banquet for being a scholar student athlete as well recently. So James Hiltz. Congratulations, Lucas. Thank you. Sam, congratulations. Caitlin, congratulations. Jenny, congratulations. Thank you. Eleanor, congratulations. Sylvie, congratulations. Talia, congratulations. James, congratulations. Oh, congratulations. Would one of the admin team mind taking a picture out in the foyer? Thanks, everybody. All right, moving down the list for recognition, we do have Karen Colt from the Connecticut Association of Board of Education here to present a communications award.
Need help with the flag, Karen?
Medal of Communication Awards. I'm Karen Colt, and I'm the area representative for the Cape. And, good evening. I already read that part. So the Bonnie B. Carney Award for Excellence in Educational Communications criteria. General criteria includes clarity of message, image, and consistency. And second, the specific guidelines of readability and editing, graphics, type, format, and presentation, design, and value of expenditure. Lebanon Public Schools is receiving the award for, let's see, first of all, Lebanon budget, and of course they're not in the same order on the paper as they are in my pile, right? Social media, superintendent's update,
Nice.
You need a new wall, Andy.
I know.
and last but not least, website development.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice, yeah.
So CAVE has been honoring school districts with the Award of Excellence for Communication since 1975. In 2016, the award was renamed in honor of staff member Bonnie Carney, recognition of her 47 years of dedication to education focused on communication. That was hard. CAVE's goal is to identify and honor the hardworking people in school districts for their continued efforts in communicating within your districts. And as a board member in Vernon, I know how important communication is, because otherwise nobody knows what the heck you're doing. So congratulations all, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thanks for coming out.
All right, and the last recognition is to introduce everybody so that you can put a face to the name to our new armed security officer, Steve Rona. So Steve, I shared with you his bio and his write-up, and that went out in one of the superintendent updates and was shared with our staff. He's been with us only a few short weeks, but is already making a big impact. He's come to our leadership team meetings. He's been very visible at arrival and dismissal. He's enjoying walking through the schools. He loves it so much that he went and shot a good round of golf at his league and came back so that he could be here for this board meeting tonight. Steve, welcome to Lebanon. We're happy to have you as part of our team.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Great to meet you. Lots of great comments. Parents have noticed that, like for pickup drop-off,
Yeah.
they've noticed. So that's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. You're welcome.
Move on to communication.
All right, communication, we do have letters of resignation and retirement that I'd like to share with you. So the first one is from Nicole Johnson, who is an art teacher at the elementary school, who is resigning effective July 1st, 2025. She's been in the district for 8 years and has said they have been deeply fulfilling years, both on a personal and professional level. She shared with us in her letter she's relocating out of state, and that's why the resignation. She's been grateful for all the support that she's got in the district, and it's been a privilege to inspire creativity and self-expression in our students, she says. She is also committed to ensuring a smooth transition and wants to thank us all for the opportunity to be part of such a dedicated and inspiring team. The next letter of resignation is from Bailey Novick, who's a special education teacher at Lebanon Middle School. She starts by thanking us for the opportunity to work in Lebanon Public Schools for the past 5 years. And she said it's been a pleasure to work with us and especially the team at the middle school. She's resigning from her position. Her last day will be June 13th. as she plans to stay home with her growing family. So she's thankful for all the opportunities and says she'll greatly miss the relationships she's developed here, and we wish Bailey nothing but happiness with her growing family. And the last letter comes from Chris McLean, who after 26 years of teaching, the past 19 at the middle school, has decided it's time to retire effective June 13th. He's especially honored to end his teaching career at a place that he considers to have been so integral in the development as a teacher. He has had the good fortune over the past 19 years to work with so many Lebanon students, both in the classroom and the athletic fields. He's been coaching our cross-country and track teams for many years, with the students whose work ethic, curiosity, energy, and good humor have made coming to work each day a challenge that was uniquely rewarding. He wants to take this opportunity to thank the families of Lebanon for the opportunity to work in this tight-knit and welcoming community. And as he moves into the next chapter, he says that he will cherish the time spent at room 9 at Lebanon Middle School. So thank you very much, Chris, for all you have done for our students and our community.
Moving along to the consent agenda. Nope, backing up. Public participation. Right ahead. In accordance with Board Bylaws 9011, we invite public participation. We have allotted 30 minutes. Each community member is allowed 2 minutes. Is there any community member who would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, now we'll move along to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion that we approve tonight's consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Brian, seconded by Nicole. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. That is unanimous. Thank you. Our student representatives report.
We just have a little report on the Lyman's peer support group that I believe they started this year and are hoping to continue into next year. They're a student-led organization that promotes mental health awareness throughout Lyman. They're spearheaded by Miss Field and Mrs. Flanagan. Students are trained by professionals on how to connect with students who may be in need of support and how to offer support and the proper resources to gain assistance in their lives at school. The goal of this program is to show students that it's okay to not be okay. The peer-to-peer discussions will hopefully show students that they are not alone and that they have people who understand them and what they may be going through or struggling with. Peer support is becoming more visible in our schools and has become more available over the last year. Having more students involved increases the availability of support to all students who may need it. The group wants to show their faces at school events to advertise essentially their availability and show everyone that they are here and they can reach out if they need it. They currently have 8 students and hope to grow even further into next year.
The group works with the Child Health and Development Institute using nationwide school initiatives and guidelines. CHDI will be sending professionals next semester to train students involved on how to recognize signs of struggling, assist peers who may be struggling, and learn who to go to and when. The support group will be promoting itself at next semester's freshman's orientation. They have assisted in bringing the Italian ice truck at field day and will be renting a snow cone truck during finals week to help students' morale up during the toughest week of the semester. On Wednesday, they are sponsoring a school-wide assembly to raise awareness for peer support. The assembly will be featuring the Echo Dance Team, a dance team who will be doing a 30-minute iterative dance, followed by a lecture on respect for others, how to deal with bullying, and how to live a positive life. There are efforts to open the same program at the middle school as well.
That's what we have for you guys today. Just a positive program that students here at Lyman have participated in over the last year, and we hope to grow. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's awesome.
If I may, I know the end of the year is a challenging time with work, and I'd like to see if they could head out a little
Absolutely.
earlier than normal.
Thank you both.
thank you.
Good luck on finals.
Thank you.
Move along to reports of committees. Brian, policy.
Policy did not meet this last month. Last month's policy minutes, though, are in tonight's packet. We do have 4 or 5 new policies tonight that I'd mentioned last month for first reading. If you recall, these are the ones that need to get, they were basically updates in laws and regs that we need to have a first reading tonight, pass them next month so that they're approved and on the books for the beginning of the new fiscal year, July 1st. So we talked about those last month, and the first reading will be tonight. So thank you.
Any questions? Okay. Danelle, strategic plan curriculum.
Did not meet.
Rachel, finance.
We met this evening for this year's budget. We talked about the current deficit, which of course we know is constantly changing. Right now, we're looking at 82,000, which could be offset from the state's. Hopefully, we don't have that information yet, nor do we know when we will get that information. Of course, the difference will be taken out of non-lapsing funds. And if we need to go back to the Board of Finance for the remaining balance of maybe 11,000 to 12,000, Mr. Superintendent is prepared to speak to them next month or their next meeting regarding that potential. And then we discussed next year's budget, and of course we're at a holding pattern until the vote this Thursday.
Any questions for Rachel? Sarah, superintendent evaluation.
Yeah, thank you. So we did meet this month, and we have an item, anticipated executive session to go into this evening, and you'll all be updated then.
Thank you. Sarah, Nicole, and Brian, school study.
So we met a couple of weeks ago. We had Jim Russo met with us, lives in town, talked a lot about the planning and development stage. Talked through some of the delays that we've been having over the last several months, and it appears as though we do have a path forward. There's going to be a smaller group that meets, Mike Nintow, myself, and the first selectman that'll meet and start going through some of these smaller issues. And they were talking about going back to the Board of Finance to having some of the funding reinstated so that we can move forward with the planning process of all this. So that's really where we're at right now, I think. Did I miss anything?
Moving forward, going out to bid for the
The bid for the, yeah, oh yeah, thank you, sorry, I missed the big part. We did go through that RFP, RFQ, went through all the language. We had submitted a few changes, looked for typos, talked a lot through that night, and then that did in fact go out that following Monday after we met. So thank you, Sarah, I forgot all about that.
So that next meeting is tomorrow,
Next
Sure,
meeting.
is it 4 o'clock?
Yeah. Pre-bid.
the pre-bid. Any questions, or did you want to add?
I just have a question. Did they hire a manager yet?
That's what,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Any other questions? Rachel.
Is there, when you were talking about some of the smaller items, but is there items that are maybe higher priority that could go first?
So I did mention that part of the legislative proposal right now that we feel will end up passing, this is Department of Administrative Services, is moving all of the HVAC, which was a separate program, the HVAC grants, will be moved to the non-priority list. Non-priority list items are things that if districts are ready, they've got the plans and everything for the Department of Administrative Services, you can submit monthly, and they'll review the applications monthly and award monthly. Stuff for HVAC, there are special conditions, there are special times that they'll do it, times of fire or, other destruction, but HVAC is gonna be one of them. So we likely could, ahead of this, start going, because we have all the plans from SLAM on all of our mechanicals. If it was so chosen, we could go forward with the HVAC portions of it while all this other stuff was in the mix and kind of getting solidified. The priority list is what is called for all the major projects. Those need to be in by basically June 15th every year. They're gone through Department of Administrative Services. A list is certified by the commissioner, sent to the governor's office, and then the governor then proposes to the legislature those districts that they wish the legislature to approve for priority list funding. And that's where our percentage of, the state has a 54% reimbursement to us. We're on the hook for about 46, roughly. But that's where that all comes into, and that's actually an approval by the legislature, and they do that annually.
Can I just add to that? So I just want to be clear, Brian, because when you say we, you're talking about us as a Board of Education initiating that work, right? Not the school study committee initiating that work. Because the school study, well, hopefully, back to Dawn's question about, hiring somebody, this is the process, I suppose. I'm kind of learning all of this too. But tomorrow, that meeting is all about, it's like a mandatory pre-bid meeting, so if contractors are interested in this position, they have to come.
That's for the manager?
It's essentially, a manager is a different name than what I've been hearing. It's, what do you call it?
I can't think of it off the top of my head, but you're right.
But it's essentially,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's the person that's gonna take,
Bless you.
Thank you.
gonna watch the project and make sure it doesn't go.
So
They're basically the town's representative.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about, like separating, like HVAC or whatever it could be, unless it's involved within the school study committee, that would be something that the Board of Ed would have to initiate potentially.
They could. The thing is, even with the non-priority list, that's the monthly that I was talking about, for us, that 46% of the payback, but we'd still have to go through the process of going to town meeting and making sure, because they have to, one of the checkoff items is that the town is actually approved being on the hook for that money. So yes, we certainly could do that. To be honest, Sarah, it could go either way, depending upon whatever way is faster, I suppose, or more expedient, and also fits into the overall project best. But yeah, it could go.
Right, it's not something though that the school study committee has put on an agenda to
No,
move
they
forward
have not.
or anything like
Nope.
that. Hopefully we'll make some
Right.
progress, but. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Dawn, safety and security.
No meeting.
Alexis, negotiations.
Our committee did meet tonight. We're starting with the teachers. We also have custodians this year. As a reminder, our meetings are non-meetings, so there are no minutes. Everything we talk about is confidential until we get through the entire process.
Any questions? Sherry, climate, culture, and enrollment.
No meeting.
Nicole, facilities.
We met this evening. The first item on our agenda was scheduling the June walkthrough, so that is scheduled for Monday, June 16th at 3 p.m. And anyone that would like to come and do a walkthrough of the schools is welcome. There is a second date scheduled for June 20th at 2 p.m. if the June 16th meeting does not work out. And then we also had a facilities update from John. John reported the following, that the cracked glass at the LES parent drop-off area has been replaced, tennis court cracks have been repaired, and the LES gym floor is keeping dry and doing well. Items to monitor, there's some masonry work at Lyman that needs to be done. The roof warranties for LES and LMS expire in 2026, and the Lyman's roof is currently not under warranty. It is expired. And then finally, the track is on its last leg. Cracks are increasing. There was talk of possibly shutting it down for the summer to preserve what little life it has left. And then they were also interested in scheduling a meeting with Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance to discuss if repair would be an option before next spring. And then I adjourned the meeting at 7:14.
Any questions? Dina?
So, in the few years I've been on the board, we've talked about the tennis courts a few times. We had them resurfaced. There was a problem with them, and then we just paid another, $6 grand for crack repair. Is any of that under warranty?
I don't think, where's John? No.
No.
Why not?
Because that's a yearly, I thought.
All the cracks in L are actually continuation cracks, so they're the cracks themselves that are getting bigger, and they have no control over it with the asphalt that's underneath it. They have warranted some stuff, so the patches they made, called Right Way. I have had them come back and do some of the warranty work free of charge, but at this point, none of that is warrantyable.
Because it's not the base. I mean, the base is what
It's the base itself that's, yeah.
And we had talked too a little bit and done an analysis. Yes, we don't want to. Best case scenario, we wouldn't be spending $6 grand every year to repair these continuation cracks, but to get a new tennis court was like $500,000.
Any other questions? Facilities? Okay. EastCon remains vacant. And governance. As you know, I've been communicating with the Board of Selectmen, specifically regarding the budget season process, and I was able to meet with them last week, Tuesday evening and Friday, and there's agreement in getting all boards, not just 3 boards, but all boards on the town side, us and the Board of Finance together before the budget season starts next year, to get a sense of exactly what the season looks like, including expectations on printed copies and things like that. So I will continue to work with them on a date, and hopefully as many of us can make it. Moving on to the, is there a question? Sorry, any questions? Moving on to the administrators' reports. We have them in our board packet starting on page 20. Would any administrator like to add to their report?
Just me.
Okay. Sure. So we'll move on to the report of the superintendent, because Chad's is under yours, correct?
Yes, so we've spent a lot of time this year trying to update you and celebrate the fact that with Chad's leadership and efforts, we were able to apply and acquire the pilot grant from the State Department of Education to be implementing AI technology at the middle school. There's been a lot of great things happening, some professional learning opportunities for our staff, a lot of collaboration to share their knowledge with each other and what they're calling bite-sized PD sessions that they've been holding after school recently. And our students, our learners, are busy in these platforms. So rather than just continue to talk about it, we wanted to have Chad show you a little bit about how we're doing that and what that looks like in the classroom. So I'll turn it over to Chad.
So yeah, I'm just going to show you like a little tasting of everything, from some of the more powerful stuff to and some of the things that our teachers are using, to some of the things that are strictly just for the kids. So this has quickly become my new best friend on my phone. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Hey, good. Remember I told you I had to do a presentation for that Board of Ed meeting?
Yeah, I remember. How did it go?
Well, I'm doing it right now, but remember, can you tell me what summarize that agenda for me again?
Sure. Let me pull that up for you. Just give me a moment. looks like I can't access that agenda directly from here. If you have any details or key points you remember, I can help.
All right, that wasn't very helpful.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. What happened?
I don't know, I thought I had uploaded the agenda to you.
I don't seem to have access to that agenda right now.
See if I can find what I did with it.
I saw the two of you had, while he's looking, some decent press on.
Oh, yeah. So Connecticut Insider had, a reporter had reached out to Chad and I to see if we'd be willing to contribute to an article that they put out. They met with some of the other district superintendents regarding how the pilot's going and what our kind of comfort level and feelings are about the introduction of this type of technology. So I did share that with you all in your update. I actually have it ready to go in the May superintendent update for our community to take a read, but it definitely some nice press. And Chad and I also had an opportunity to go to a State Department professional development that they put on at Central Connecticut State University and get to look in their VR and AR and how they're using those tools at the collegiate level. And it actually sparked a conversation that I haven't got too deep into about how we could potentially have a pathway from Lyman to Central related to AI.
All right, I gave you that packet again.
Got it. If you need any specific details or have any questions about the packet, feel free to ask.
All right, what's the agenda?
Sure thing. Here's a quick rundown of the agenda for the Board of Education meeting. Here's how the meeting schedule goes. Call to order and Pledge of Allegiance. Recognitions. Various student and
Hang on. They're all looking at me. I got like 60 seconds. Can you summarize it in 60 seconds?
Of course. The Board of Education meeting tonight includes recognizing student achievements, reviewing resignations and a retirement, and hearing updates on the budget and school initiatives. They'll discuss new policies on school security, visitors, and restorative practices, and vote on meal costs for next year. The superintendent will present on AI initiatives at LMS and end-of-year events. Finally, they'll go into an executive session to discuss the superintendent's evaluation.
Hey, I heard that they were supposed to take a look at policy number 5014, the Connecticut School Climate Policy. Can you explain that to us in plain language?
Absolutely. The Connecticut School Climate Policy 5014 is a new policy aimed at creating a positive, safe, and supportive school environment for all students. It focuses on preventing bullying and promoting respectful and inclusive interactions among students and staff. The goal is to ensure that every student feels valued and supported, which helps them learn and grow better. In short, it's about fostering a school culture where
Thanks, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You always say please and thank you to it because you don't know when it's going to take over the world. So that's the phone. That was ChatGPT. This is also ChatGPT, but just show you a little bit more academic things that we can do with it. So for example, I can say, let's see, Control V. Design a 7th grade science exit ticket aligned to NGSS standards on cell structure.
Who knows what it meant?
Yeah, just made some questions. And that's cool.
Say it made 3 multiple choice questions, 2 short answer, and a model application question for a total of 10 points. I can ask it to, let's see, how about generate an enrichment task for advanced math in 5th grade, studying multi-step word problems. So you can see it's giving me the standards that it's associated with. provides a scenario. You're a detective trying to solve the mystery of the missing medals of the school Olympiad Games. Each event awarded gold, silver, and bronze medals to top 3 students. The principal check the medal box, some were gone. Your job is to figure out how many medals are missing and where they went. And we've got some different math challenges that go along with it. Let's see.
Jack, can I just ask you?
Yeah, go for it. Chime in anytime.
You're the 5th grade math teacher that just asked for this. How does the teacher then validate? I'm guessing the teacher validates back against the AI to make sure that it meets not only learning standards, particular for not only what we asked of it to produce, but that it's factual, that it's accurate, that we're actually able to come to an answer, from the question that it made up.
Yeah, nothing should be taken and just copied and pasted without reviewing, just like any other.
Right,
just like every video that you would show a kid and everything else, especially when it comes to the math side, because it's still evolving a little bit, and so it will sometimes hallucinate on the math problems where it will either give the right steps to solve the problem, but it will give the wrong answer, or more often the kids will type in the wrong answer and it will say they're correct. So it's not perfect, especially on the math side, but at the same time it does force kids to also follow that process and look at each step and say, oh, okay, wait a minute, hold on, this isn't right.
And that's something we worked a lot with our staff early on, is how to develop good prompts. Like, the more you could see how detailed Chad's prompt was. It wasn't just create a 5th grade enrichment activity for math. He went into some great detail, and when it spits something out, we're encouraging push back, ask for more detail, ask for more specific detail. Yeah, and then it becomes more of exactly what you're looking for rather than just a generic output that the AI put out.
The second question I have is on the material. Now you have a specific program, right, that you were able to.
Yeah, I'm going to show you that next.
Yeah. So have you found that particular program is more accurate than, like, just say ChatGPT, for example, or does it have strengths that maybe the other ones don't?
So
weaknesses, I guess.
Yeah. So ChatGPT, Claude, Anthropic, Microsoft,
Copilot.
The Copilot. Those are all your frontier models, and Magic School is basically, think of it as like a skin that covers over ChatGPT and protects the school, basically, both teachers and students, from any harmful interactions and material. So because you're creating that kind of security layer, it's not going to be as powerful as ChatGPT. So when the teachers are looking for, like an example, like if they want to create an exit ticket, I always encourage them to go straight to ChatGPT, because we're not talking about any FERPA violations, we're not entering students' name, any students' data, any of those things, and they can just get a good activity. And then they can copy that from ChatGPT and they can paste it right into Magic School, and then the students can use it that way. So ChatGPT and those frontier models are definitely more powerful, but Magic School is what's appropriate for our learning environment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sherry, while he's pulling stuff up.
I'm just curious, given that assignment, would a student be able to go into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to solve that?
Great question. So first of all, they don't have access to ChatGPT at school. It's blocked.
Okay.
They do have access to Magic School, and so in Magic School, as Mr. Gonzalez mentioned, the prompts are important. So one of the prompts that we would say is, no matter what the students ask, don't give them the answer, and then it won't give them the answer. It will keep prompting questions of them and help guide them towards the answer, but it won't give them the answer.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So then I just prompted it to write a parent letter explaining the goals and purposes of the WIN period. You can see the draft.
Chad, and if I could go back to Sherry's point, because that is a big concern, right? That many people tend to gravitate towards, oh, they're going to just get the answers, oh, they're going to cheat. We're trying to embrace this technology and encourage them to use it and set parameters on how they can. because it's not going away. And this is one of the things when you read the article, we've identified, like, to try to run from this is not a good educational decision. Let's harness the power of this and provide specific instruction on how to utilize it to supercharge, like Chad uses that term, supercharge our instruction, but also give the kids the power to access this type of information in such an efficient and effective way. So we've thought a lot about that, and it's a lot about how you design your activities too. Like there are ways that you can have students give you outputs utilizing this and encouraging them to use it, where it's not give me the answer and it's not cheating. We're telling you to use it, and it takes a lot of critical thinking and analysis to get to the output we want them to get to.
What's fascinating for me is not even so much that you're using the technology. What's really, really awesome to me is the fact that you are making the students, and we're starting in the middle school, write the prompts, and the prompts are so important. They're 100% of what it's truly garbage in, garbage out. And if you're able to tighten down those screws and make great prompts, by the time they get to Sue and Jay and Central and Eastern and Yukon and wherever else, when this is, far more than it is now, think about how far ahead these kids are going to be, because they started it on a pilot program at Lebanon Middle School.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So Chad, not to put any time constraints, but in about 3 or 4 more minutes, if you could show us some.
You gotta take off your glasses.
Yeah, the Magic School AI platform.
If you can do it on your phone or your computer, so if you want to scan the QR code, or I don't know if you can see the web address here, but you can enter in the Magic School, students.magicschool.ai/s/join, and enter in the code, and it will take you right now into some custom chatbots that I had actually made for our faculty, which were mimic things so that you can see what it would actually look like for student activities that you want to try. And you can scan it now. I'm going to leave the room open so you can scan it now and try it on your own if you don't want to try it now, but there it is for you if you want to.
And I went in right now while he was talking, just bring your camera up and it will scan that QR code, and you just enter your first name and hit join room, and it will bring up all of those tools. So maybe Chad, if we could, or Jacques, if we could leave that screen up, the board can play with it and explore at their leisure.
And yeah.
But please take time to go take a look at it. The stuff that Chad has put together is really cool.
And then last but not least, just because I thought this would be, good for you, let me reload it here. Notebook LM is something that a lot of our teachers are also using as a way to kind of summarize things that have gone on in the classroom based on lesson plans that they upload for students that are absent, that they can just post onto Google Classroom to kind of catch them up. So what I did with just really the click of a button was I took the Board of Ed packet and I turned it into a podcast that you could listen to on the way home.
And it's quite a stack of documents. You've got agendas, minutes, admin reports, budget stuff, new policies, the works.
Yeah, it's a lot. So what we want to do is kind of sift through it all.
Teacher at the middle school, leaving around the beginning of October.
And their letter had a bit more nuance, didn't it?
It did. Expressed thanks, said they've missed colleagues, especially the 8th grade team and speed department. But they also significantly acknowledged the timing.
How so?
Mentioned this.
So Notebook LM is pretty neat too for summarizing lessons. If you want to upload that packet the next time you get it from Chelsea and just listen to it on the way home as a podcast, that's the app for you. They also, you can change it into just a briefing doc. I think it was, 94 pages this time, so you can slim it down if you want. Just figured I'd throw a few things that you might find helpful for yourselves.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you so much, Chad.
Any other questions on AI technologies? I know we just scratched the surface there and there's a lot to think about, but it really is an exciting opportunity. Chad had a lot of things on his plate, just like every other admin, and when he approached me with this, I said, said, hey, if you're up for it, let's go for it. And for him to get that for his school and to see what it's doing for our district, it is exciting to think about what it's going to look like in the elementary and in the high school. It's going to be part of our administrative retreat over the summer, is talking about how do we integrate this into each of our schools and what do we want it to look like. So thanks again for the presentation tonight, Chad.
Yeah, and the AI image generator stuff is like the next powerful stuff that everybody's going to be doing coming up, but I have like early access to it. So I asked it to take this photo of Andy and change it into one where he was approving of my presentation at the book. So, really cool.
Look at that cheesy smile. Nice.
All right. Here we go. Moving on in the report of the superintendent. So just wanted to bring your attention back a little bit to the 25-26 budget process. A few months back, you took my proposal, adopted a 6.42 budget increase, making it your budget. At the April 14th public hearing, we were presenting our budget versus the 3.21% increase that the Board of Finance had moved. Through the participation of our community, the Board of Finance was receptive to the feedback that they received at that meeting, and at a meeting on the 15th, moved the Board of Ed increase up to a 4%. So that 4% is what was moved to the May 5th town meeting, which we did a brief presentation again. That meeting adjourned to referendum to be in line with the requirements of our town charter. There is the budget referendum this Thursday. So pending results, we could either have a 4% increase, which will require myself and the administrative team to be able to recalibrate what we'll be able to accomplish given that percentage increase, or if it fails because people indicate that the Board of Education budget is too low, the Board of Finance will deliberate, make adjustments, and it will go to another referendum. So right now we are still in a waiting pattern. Any questions about the 25-26 budget? All right. Town surplus projects. So again, any opportunity we have to, in a public meeting or otherwise, thank the town, the Board of Finance, Board of Selectmen, for giving the town surplus funds to the schools to do some much needed projects. I want to always seize that opportunity and say thank you again. We were able to do some amazing things with the funds. I've shared in previous meetings that we were able to do all of the tech catch-up plan rather quickly. Thank you to Jacques and his team for getting that done. I know John also played a part in installing these Promethean boards, and Jacques worked hard with his tech team to get the new devices ordered and out. So in a great place with tech. Did bring John back to the table today. We're about 90% done with the access control system, but I'll let him speak to the specifics.
Yeah, so getting that access control system installed really kind of made me realize just how antiquated our old system was. You know, the process now of programming cards is a couple clicks of a mouse, and it instantaneously just distributes to all the doors. There's no more walking around the doors, whether that's programming a new card or even disabling a card for whatever reason. Within the Borealis system, I actually have a live events, so I actually have that up usually on one of my monitors, and I can see every single time somebody swipes in at every single door at any given time of the day. It also notifies me of a access denied for whatever reason, whether it be a card that's not programmed or somebody mistakenly uses their old card. I can see in real time what's happening at every door. That also notifies me if a door is propped open. It'll also notify me if a door is opened without a credential being presented. One thing which is part of that 10% that we're not done with yet is we're still waiting to get it tied into our lockdown system. I actually had a meeting with FASD and then the reps from Cary to kind of go over how we're going to do that. We think we have a game plan. Cary's kind of doing some programming on their end to make sure that it's all going to work. We might at this point kind of wait to get that tied in until the summertime just because they got to pull more wire and things like that. But we're still kind of working on those logistics. So much appreciated upgrade, much needed. So.
Something, sorry, go ahead. I was wondering if that's the kind of system that our ASO would also have access to.
He can. That's something yeah, so there's different levels of like what he can do. Like I'm a super user, it's called, right, where I program cards, I have full access. I could make him essentially a viewer, so he could just kind of see like the live feed of people coming in and out. Not sure he'd be at his desk much. It seems like he's really out and about in the schools, but that's something I could maybe set him up with.
And just kind of dovetail off of that, so he is doing frequent perimeter checks. So as John was talking about the ability to see if a door is propped open, we can easily communicate to our armed security officer that we need that to be addressed, and he is so actively looking, he can address that right away. And also, in addition to potentially setting him up for that access, he does have access to all the cameras already. So he can be patrolling the district and on his phone see all the different camera views.
And he also has the lens, he's access to the lens notifications and the Raptor notifications if we get flagged for on the Raptor security system. So just to let you know.
Yeah, thank you.
To that.
Thank you. That was part of my question. You know, I think you kind of just answered it. I'm glad to hear that this is like very helpful. I feel like we all kind of thought it was necessary. So I'm glad that this is a big problem solver. I have a question regarding, and if you don't want to answer it now because we're in open session, that's acceptable. I was just wondering, like, do you get an email if a door is propped open for an extended period of time, like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, you know, that type of thing? Like, how are you notified, and then what's the process? Like, would you call, you know, the armed security officer and just ask him to check it out, you know, that type of thing?
So I'll be honest, I'm still kind of working on those logistics. Currently, Borealis does not offer like an email or a text message notification. We would have had to go with the more local system, which we didn't want to do because of connectivity remotely. They're actually working on that. I only see it right now on the live feed.
Okay.
Because we didn't include like some kind of a sensor to like authorize an exit. Anytime a door opens, it's an unauthorized exit, right? So if you're leaving a door that has a sensor, there's no way to present a credential to say, hey, I'm allowed to open that door. All the contact knows is that the contact was broken. So that's something that, you know, I've worked with FASD that we're going to try to discuss and maybe add on later on. The wiring, everything is there. It's essentially just adding a sensor. The pre-K doors and the kindergarten classrooms and also the courtyard door have a read out. Those will actually, if a teacher doesn't present their credential to leave, it'll send a notification that I'll see on the live feed.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks, John. So, believe it or not, end of year is right around the corner. Very exciting time in the district, and there's a lot going on. As you can see, this afternoon and early evening was a great example. We had softball at the middle school, tennis going on, high school softball. We had our Mayfest display. Obviously had our board recognitions, but I've been sharing the end of year events with you in your weekly updates, but I thought it'd be a great opportunity to make sure the public is well aware. We're trying to put the things out in newsletters and social media or other updates to our families, but at the elementary school, just picking a few. On May 22nd and 23rd, we have the Bagels with Grown-Ups, where our youngest learners can bring a special someone in their life to enjoy a light breakfast. On that same day, the 22nd, we have our spring band and chorus concert. There'll be a day performance at 2 o'clock and an evening performance at 6 p.m. And then LES will be concluding their year with their moving up ceremony on the 11th at 6 p.m. And earlier that day, they do a great Flag Day presentation. At the middle school, the 8th grade Job Shadow Fair will be taking place on the 23rd. If you haven't had an opportunity to go to that and you're available, please let me know and I can tour that with you. I think it's an amazing event. And the 8th grade promotion will be on the last day of school, Friday the 13th. At the high school, we just talked about Mayfest. They have their prom on May 23rd at the AquaTurf. Then on the 4th of June, there's the awards night at 6:30. On the 5th, there's the Pops concert at 7. One of my favorite things to watch is the senior walk, where our high school graduating seniors go back to the elementary and middle school, kind of tour the school and get greeted with applause from our teachers and our students. It's really nice because so many of our graduating seniors were preschool students in our district, so it's a nice full circle moment. So if you're available, that's on June 6th at 11:30, between the window of 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and graduation will be June 12th. So
You bus them to LES?
we do.
Okay, I thought they walk.
No, we do bust them.
That's a long walk.
Rude.
Any questions for Andy? Finance report?
Yeah, just piggybacking a little bit off of Rachel's report from the Finance Subcommittee, specifically on the 24-25 budget. We are looking at a deficit, around an $80,000 deficit at this point. I did just want to highlight for the board is that we've had $184,000 over already in school tuition, and that's projected to be about $200,000 by the end of the school year. And just reminding everybody, those were for special education students who were not part of our district at budget time last year, who have moved in and have required outplacement services. We're presently about $17,000 over on pupil transportation, which is part of that process. We pay for their tuition. We also pay for their transportation, and that's projected to end the year about $20,000 over. So just in those two, we're about $220,000 over in terms of unbudgeted expenses with special education. I've been informing the Board of Finance when I've gone to their meetings at these potential overages, but as we tick towards the end of the year, we're able to forecast out a little bit more accurately. We tried to combat these overages by doing freezes during the course of the school year, and that's why the overage being 220 just in those specific accounts, but the deficit only looking more like 80 at this point. There is also some excess cost reimbursement that should be coming our way. We just don't know when, and that would be in a realm of about $40,000, which would then bring our deficit under what we have in the non-lapsing account and would not require us to ask for any additional appropriations. So I will keep you posted on where we stand in these final months of the fiscal year, and hopefully we can come in with no deficit.
I just want to kind of clarify something because I've heard a couple of times, maybe at public hearing or, comments that our tuition that we charge students that don't live in Lebanon coming in is significantly lower than our per pupil expenditure average, right? And I just wanted to quickly have a conversation about why that is. Just hopefully there are people listening to this that because I've heard a lot, oh, well, we don't charge enough for the students that are coming in from out of town. And when you hear a pure per pupil expenditure, per pupil average, that's exactly what it is. It's an average, right? We have some students that don't require special transportation, special education, outplacement services. But when you average in large amounts of money with the let's just say, for better term, typical student might cost the district to educate. So I do think there's a misconception that we are not doing our due diligence here as a Board of Ed, charging more money to students that don't live in Lebanon. But that's not actually accurate, because if a student does have special services and they do come to our district, their district is still obligated to pay for those additional funds. So that the average tuition, the tuition that we charge is, assuming there are no additional special education charges. If I am wrong, Dawn, please feel free to correct me. I just feel like there is a little bit of a misconception out there that the Board of Ed, why are we charging more money for students? Well, when they require additional funding, we are charging those towns, right? But we need to take into account that our own students, we have a lot of students that don't cost the district that baseline tuition amount, right? That there is a huge breadth of, a range, I should say, of amounts of money that it costs to educate our students. So I hope that I'm clear about that. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything to what I said or correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I did try to present some slides specific to that topic at the public hearing. I think reminding people that transportation costs are not included in that either. The sending districts take care of that. So when you exclude special education costs and transportation, those are the two biggest drivers in our budget. Also, I think showing what the other districts are charging for tuition, hopefully clarified for people that thought that we were unfairly, being unfair to our taxpayers and giving some type of discount to out-of-district learners. I showed clearly on those slides that all of the surrounding towns are not charging what their per pupil expenditure is, and it's because of those factors. So.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Non-lapsing account, there's been no changes from March. We still have $71,722 in that account. That's projected after projects.
Any questions for Andy? Under new business, as Brian mentioned earlier, there are 5 first readings. They will be on our June agenda under action items. So we shall move on to action items. Action item number 1, act on letters of resignation. Is there a motion?
Motion to act on letters of resignation with regret.
Second.
Motion by Nicole, seconded by Brian. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hands. That is unanimous. Item number 2, act on letter of retirement. Is there a motion?
Motion to act on letter of retirement with regret.
And celebration, I second.
Motion by Nicole, seconded by Brian. Any discussion? Sarah?
Sorry, another Sarah rant. I do want to say this, Mr. McLean retiring, is very, I'm so excited for him, but I just wanted to say how impactful of a teacher, I'm sure a colleague, he's just had a huge impact on so many students. All 3 of my kids and their friends, everybody got a great deal from Mr. McLean, whether it's in the classroom. I mean, what a great teacher. And on the track field, just sad to see him go, but happy for him. He's going to be a hard one to replace.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Any other comments? Okay. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is unanimous. Moving on to action item number 3, act on food service contract renewal amendment number 3, which is on page 94 of your agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to act on food service contract renewal amendment number 3.
Second.
Motion by Nicole, seconded by Brian. Discussion. Andy?
We actually, I'm going to make the recommendation to the board that we table this because Martha's had conversation with Chartwells, who would like to make some changes based on conversations they've been having. So if we could table this, that would be.
Remove my second.
I rescind my motion.
Motion has been rescinded. We shall put it on our June agenda.
Yeah, hopefully they're ready at that point.
Okay, so would you be willing to make a motion to table it?
Yes, I'll make a motion to table the food service contract renewal amendment number 3.
Second.
Okay, so motion to table by Nicole, seconded by Brian. Any discussion? All those in favor to table the matter? That is unanimous. Okay, and when they are ready, we will need to untable it. Action item number 4.
No, this one.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion to act on meal costs for 2025-26 school year.
Second.
Motion by Nicole, seconded by Brian. Any discussion? Any questions, any comments?
The changes that they are proposing, that why we're tabling, will not affect.
No.
these.
Okay. Seeing no comments, all those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is unanimous. Next on the agenda is an anticipated executive session. We need a motion to go into executive session.
I move that we go into a session for the purpose of discussing superintendent evaluation.
Second.
Sorry. Doesn't matter.
Motion by Danelle, seconded by Sarah. All those in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. We go into executive session at 8:36.